Hello, and welcome to your weekly astrology forecast with me, the Cosmic Witch. This week, I think a lot of you will be happy to know that it is way less chaotic than the past few weeks that we've been through. Eclipse season has passed, and now we're moving into a more calmer era, I guess you can say. This week is definitely less interesting. We just have a bunch of moon transits. We have Mercury squaring Jupiter and Venus conjunct the South Node, which could be a little spicy. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Oh, what do you guys think about the animation at the beginning? I'm kind of camera shy, and I think it gives me more confidence to do astrology and not show my face, but I thought that the animation would be kind of cute. But if you think it's like kind of off-putting or not your vibe, let me know, because I'm happy to just keep this kind of witchy coven aesthetic throughout the whole video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. So anyways, let's just get straight into it. We're gonna start with Sunday, September 28th. So we have the moon sextiling Mercury. So with the moon sextile Mercury, you might wake up Saturday just feeling very a lot of ideas are coming to you at once. And that could be great because maybe you've been waiting for that breakthrough moment. You've been feeling like, oh, I need like this idea. I need to feel like I'm doing something different in my daily life. I need something to stimulate me. And then you kind of wake up with like that idea and you have to like quickly jot it down. That's kind of the vibe that you get on Sunday. It's very relaxing though, and I do feel like because it's a sextile, you kind of have to work for that idea a little bit with sextiles, but it really is giving like waking up at 3 a.m. and you have like that epiphany and suddenly you're writing down your life goals and everything that you have planned for the next 10 years. And then later in the day, literally nothing else is happening. So let's move on to Monday. Monday, September 29th, we have Moon square Saturn. In Sagittarius goes into Capricorn. We have the Moon squaring Neptune, the Moon sextiling Mars, and then the Moon squaring the Sun. It is just a bunch of moon transits back to back to back on Monday. Starting off, especially with that Moon squaring Saturn, it's very much like not feeling your best. You're kind of questioning maybe all the ideas that you had on Sunday, and you're like, oh, I don't think I could do that. I don't feel confident enough in doing that. And then the moon will then enter into Capricorn, and suddenly it's like, well, maybe if I make a plan and make it more strategic and make it more logical, it's possible. But even with that Capricorn energy, I do think people forget that yes, I think they're really good at organizing their thoughts and making a plan, but they're still ruled by Saturn. Like they do question themselves and they do put a lot of pressure on themselves. So when the moon squares Neptune later in that day, I think those feelings come back again where it's like you're questioning how you're feeling and if you can do it or if it was a right idea or if it was just something you woke up in the middle of the night and thought of and you should put it away. Later then, the moon will sextile Mars, which is really great if you want to take action on that idea. Like I'm telling you that there is so many back-to-back moon transits that it's just you're just gonna feel wishy-washy all week. Like once the moon sextiles Mars, it's a gentle aspect. You do have to take action when it comes to sextiles. If you do take that action, I think you will feel better. Then the last aspect for the day would be the moon squaring the sun. That I think can also feel like a lot of clashing between how you feel and then also with who you are and what you believe in and how you present yourself. So maybe you're thinking, oh, well, how could I do this when no one sees me as the person that does this? And because I think if you got the idea, it was given to you for a reason. I think ideas are little gifts from the universe that they want to see sprouted in our world. And so they will plant it in different people's minds. And when you get an idea, that was planted for you because you can do it. But have you ever noticed you have an idea for something and then you don't really take action and then you see someone else doing it like a few months later, even maybe like a few weeks later, and you're like, oh my God, like, what the hell? I literally think it's because the universe was like, I want to see this idea come to fruition. Oh, this person isn't doing it, give it to the next. If something comes to you was meant to be, always take action. Try not to get in your head too much. Moving on to Tuesday, we have the moon in Capricorn trining Venus and Virgo, and then the moon will then make a square to Mercury and Libra. Again, gentle day, chill day. With the moon trining Venus, maybe you might feel more lovey-dovey. It is in Virgo, so you might be maybe making things more aesthetically pleasing, like in your home, in a way that's like very detailed, as in like maybe like polishing forks or like maybe you finally are like vacuuming or dusting, because there's regular cleaning and then there's like a deep clean. This energy is like you have the vibe to deep clean, get into all the crevices and everything like that, and then you like step back and then look at the room and you feel finally at ease. Light a candle, sit back, watch your favorite show with wine, and take a deep breath in, and everything is perfectly serene. That's that vibe. Later in the day, the moon will then square Mercury in Libra. It could be like just a gentle miscommunication with a partner, a friend. The square means that there's probably tension between how you're feeling and perhaps communication just with somebody else. But yeah, there, just be careful, just be aware of any conflicting or tensions in conversations that you have in the end of the day that might disrupt the serene energy you had fostered earlier. On Wednesday, we have the moon in Capricorn opposing Jupiter in Cancer. The moon then sextiles Saturn in Pisces. Then it will enter Aquarius. Finally, we got some action going on. We have Mercury in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer. That happens around 5 p.m. Then we have the moon trining Uranus and Gemini, and the moon conjunct Pluto. With the moon opposing Jupiter to start the day off, it does feel like your feelings are very grandiose. Maybe something at your in your home life is blowing up or with family. What you're thinking in your head might not be the reality, and everyone else can see it and you can't see it. Like when you're about to just blow up and maybe you look back at it later on the day and you're like, wow, I over exaggerated, but because I was just hungry. I think it's one of those vibes where you were just hungry, so no need to blow up. That's where I'll leave that at. Then we have the moon sextiling Saturn. I think that's that moment when you realize, okay, let me just chill out. Again, sextiles are gentle with Saturn coming in. It's just very like, I'm so sorry, I'm saying like a lot. This is my first video, so bear with me. I'm still getting used to talking to a microphone and not seeing anyone in front of me. Anyways, Moon in Capricorn, sextile Saturn in Pisces. You're kind of coming down from that moment. Maybe you really did just have to eat, because sometimes that's all it is. Then the moon will enter Aquarius. I don't really have anything special to say about that. Happens every single month. What I want to talk about is Mercury in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer, because it's our first like real aspect. Mercury in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer, I feel like is I think that Mercury and Libra square Jupiter and Cancer kind of comes back to that moment in the morning when you have those big feelings that were really, really big to you, but maybe not to everyone else. But this time you're communicating it, and you're actually communicating it in a way that's very diplomatic and understanding and and very digestible, but it's still, it could possibly still not be received well. I think the difference is with the moon opposed Jupiter, it was that's how you were feeling. And maybe I spoke too soon to say that that's what you communicated yet. Later in the day, when Mercury in Libra squares Jupiter around 5, that's when it might reach this point where you want to talk to someone about it and it just kind of all spills out all at once. And then you kind of like stop talking and you say, "Oh my gosh, have I been talking too much?" Or "I'm so sorry, did I just trauma dump on you?" Or something like that. I don't think it's a big deal, honestly, to vent. Everybody needs to vent sometimes. And I think the whole, oh, you just trauma dumped on me thing sometimes makes us have shallow relationships, because no one wants to talk about their emotions, or everyone is scared that if they bring up something that's bothering them, their friend is going to cut them off because they trauma dumped. I think there's a time and place. I do think to be respectful, it's always good to say, hey, do you have the capacity to hear me out right now? I got a vent. That's good. I think what you don't want to do is just call someone up randomly and just start crying with no introduction or anything, because you don't know if people are ready for that. And this is actually a possibility now that I'm looking at it, like, wow, Mercury Libra squaring Jupiter and Cancer. It's like maybe you do call somebody up and just dump everything on them, and it was a lot, and now you're kind of cringing and regretting it, and they're kind of uncomfortable. That's actually what I'm sensing with that. Now that I yapped about it for a long time. And so then after that you have the moon in Aquarius trining Uranus in Gemini, and then conjuncting Pluto. I think with the moon trining Uranus, it's still very, maybe almost shocked with the words that had come out of your mouth, or maybe even the reaction of the person who you were talking to. Because it's a trine, though, it seems like you're shocked because of the words that came out of your mouth. You didn't process them. You didn't know that you felt that way until you said it. And maybe that person gives you great insight that you didn't think of before. And that's why you're looking at it different. Like you have a new perspective. And that was shocking. And then when it conjuncts Pluto, well, now you're like, oh, well, damn, now I got to go to therapy. And now this became intense. Like, oh, now how I'm feeling is really, really, it's really bothering me. Like, I think I need to heal. I think I need to do shadow work. I think I need to do whatever I need to do to feel better about this, because this is more deeply rooted than I realized. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say about that. No. Thursday, October 2nd, back to boring. Moon Aquarius, square Mars and Virgo. Moon then will trine the Sun and Libra. Moon squaring Mars. Just be careful not to lash out on people off of little tiny things, like them chewing too loudly, or that's the first thing that came to my mind. But you know, when someone just annoys you and their presence is just annoying you, you might feel like that on Thursday. And if that's the case, that's how you feel. But don't blame them, because I think sometimes we're irritable, and that's just a feeling that comes and goes. Every feeling is just something that comes and goes. Like, but it's definitely the type of day where someone is just irritating the hell out of you and you can't stand them or anything that they're doing. They walk annoying, they breathe annoying, they stand annoying, they eat annoying, they are annoying, they're being anyways. I'm too. So anyways, and then the moon will then trine Sun and Libra. I think if you get out the house and do something that makes you feel good for you, and it could be with somebody else, like Moon and Aquarius, like you're feeling good with a different friend that maybe someone else isn't annoying you. It could be like a pet too. It may be what you're being annoyed by a pet, or something that's involved in your daily routine, or it could be like your body is annoying you for, like, oh, my knees are like really bothering me today. That's so irritating. Or how come I couldn't run as fast as I normally could when I went to the gym? That could be irritating. And then later on the day, you hang out with a friend and you go see a movie, or you go get a massage, or you just hang out at home and eat. Just doing something very like Venusian, I think will make you feel a lot better. Friday, we have Moon in Aquarius, trine Mercury in Libra. All these moon aspects, they are so gentle. Like you, I think I've said this so many times, I don't need to reiterate. I just wish I had something more to share other than this. This is probably the worst week I could have started a YouTube channel for astrology if everything is just going to be about the moon. But I hope this isn't I hope this isn't terrible. I hope this isn't a terrible video. But Moon in Aquarius, trining Mercury in Libra, I would say is you're feeling a type of way, and then you communicate it. And I think it is actually let me be serious. I think it's actually a really good day to talk to someone that maybe you're in a relationship with, or closely romantic with, or something like that, about like literally anything. I think if something's been on your mind, then you talk to them about that. It's a really good day also if you would want to like introduce them to your friends or do something with a big group of friends. And I don't know, I just think it's actually very nice, calming energy when it comes to being around people and then just doing something fun. Having that, like, it's not really about having that serious conversation. I think it's more like, oh, I love to go on walks with you at the park. Can we go do that right now? It's just gentle. It's just very enjoying the small things energy. And then later that day, the moon will enter Pisces, which I think also is very much just enjoying the small things. I think it is emotional. It can get emotional, like when you accidentally get too drunk with your friends and suddenly you're crying about how much you love them. It could be like one of those things, like, oh, you do go on that walk. You just look at whoever you're walking with, you're like, oh, I'm so grateful to have that person. Like, I think it's a really nice day to just feel the feels in a way where it doesn't have to be too deep, but you're just really grateful for what you have and enjoying like the small things and the people that you have around you. So Saturday, we have the moon in Pisces squaring Uranus in Gemini, Venus in Virgo. I've been wanting to talk about this. Venus and Virgo conjunct the South Node, and then the moon in Pisces will trine Mars in Virgo. The reason why I say this day can be spicy is because, and I hate when everyone, and when an astrologer or a spiritualist are always like, the X is coming back, the X is coming back, or, and just really like preying on people who really want to hear that. I am not the type of person to say that, but if there was a day or a week that an ex could come back, I think it would be this week. Like, and I only say that because Venus, planet of love and relationships, is conjunct the South Node, which is about the past. It's about karma. It's also about letting things go, which unfortunately, and you'll hear me talk about this in the all signs when I go through each of your signs, I think whatever ends up coming back around this time is something that you're likely meant to let go. Because it's gonna be, we just had the Virgo eclipse, so it's not happening at the same degree, but I do think it could be bringing back around that story of whatever happened to you on the 21st of September or around that time for that Virgo eclipse. That storyline could be coming back around. And I think it'd be in your best interest to let anything go that is not serving you. But now that we've gone through the week, I will now go into your forecast for all signs. So starting with Aries, this week could really be revolving around just difficult conversations that you might have with a family member or roommate or a long-term partner, someone that you have a one-on-one dynamic or a relationship with. That Mercury square Jupiter is happening with Mercury in your seventh house and Jupiter and Cancer in your fourth. So it really is like, ooh, I have something to say to you and it's gonna be a lot. Can you handle it? That could be someone saying it to you as well. And it's likely to be, yes, with is someone that you're married to. It could be a yes, a family member or a roommate. So just be cautious of that and try not to, again, that like I mentioned in the general forecast, just not to overwhelm the conversation or take over the conversation with how you're feeling. Listen to what they say. Hopefully they listen to what you say and it can end properly. This could when I say it could be also a work dynamic or something that's more like not personal is because with the Venus conjunct South Node, that is happening in your sixth house. So essentially that is about like your daily routines and activity. It's also about pets. I could say that you could be going back to a new daily habit. You could be thinking about getting a pet that maybe you've had before in the past, a new pet in general. You could be going back to an old job, and that's where that conversation comes in, where maybe you're talking to a partner about, I think I want to go back to school, or I want to go back to this job, or I want to go back to doing this specific activity. And maybe it's possible that your partner or whoever that affects doesn't really like that very much. Maybe you're somebody that works that used to work in an office and now you want to focus more on a business venture that might bring clients to the house. Like I have a friend that does nails and she does it from her room. So maybe you're thinking about doing that and your roommate's like, oh, absolutely not. You could also there's also the possibility about hearing back from like an old coworker or someone that you used to go to school with. Like I said before, in the general messages, whatever is coming back around this time, it is very, very possible, very, very likely that it's meant to be something that you are supposed to release just with that self node. Or it could be just karmic, just I would let things play out. I wouldn't take things as set in stone at the moment. All right, thank you for listening, Aries. Taurus. So this week, you might find that you have like conflict with your siblings, neighbors, and cousins. You could be having some sort of back and forth with one of these like people or one or in any of these areas that I had just mentioned. Or perhaps you could have a pet that could cause some issues at home. Maybe they're rowdier than normal and they wreck the house. That could be really frustrating. There just could be issues with these dynamics like a sibling where things are just not flowing the way that they should conversationally. Like maybe you're butting heads a bit. So one person feels this way, another person feels that way, and it's just very much clashing. And it could also have to do with someone's routine in the house or what they're doing in the house. I only laugh because everyone knows, like, having a roommate, you do have to adapt to their little quirks and stuff that they do around the house. But that could be amplified on this day for you guys. So just in general, I'll just say plan extra time for travel and just be aware of any miscommunications. I would say for you guys, if there is any sign that could hear back from an ex, I would say with I think it was you and then was it Pisces? But yeah, like if it's any sign, it would be you guys probably just because that Venus conjunct the South Node is happening in your fifth house of romantic relationships. Very spicy. Maybe can I say this on YouTube? Like maybe you'll end up hooking up with like an ex. I just can't say you're gonna wake up and feel like it was the right thing to do. You might realize, oh, I still don't want this relationship, or this doesn't feel right, or I think I'm just meant to move on. I wish I could have ended that on a better note. I mean, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thank you for listening, Taurus, and I hope to see you guys next week. Now, moving on to Gemini. This week, you guys could be facing tense conversations with a romantic interest that might affect your self esteem, or it could also be about finances. With Jupiter in Cancer in your second house, I think there's a very big focus on putting yourself first and how you feel above other people, and that might make a romantic partner unhappy. But it's I think when it comes to boundaries, it's a two-way street. You set boundaries with people, and they have to decide if that's something that they can do or not. If the answer is no, it's up to that person to walk away. Of course, you could be the bigger person and be like, I know I can't do this for you. I'm gonna walk away. Actually, I think that's what people should do. But on both ends, I think people need to be responsible for their own boundaries. And in this case, that conversation might be coming up. So, with Venus conjunct the South Node in your fourth house, there also could be past traumas that come up, just really deep rooted things that maybe you've pushed down and they just resurface this day. It could be that argument that you have with your partner, romantic partner, or whoever that reminds you of how you were treated when you were younger and you don't like that. Or you're realizing you're having this argument and you've already had this argument with somebody before and you're so tired of this cycle and you want the cycle to end. I think I think things are going to resurface that are really deeply rooted and that are coming up because you're meant to let them go. For example, like you could have a fear of abandonment and the person that you're seeing keeps triggering that because they don't text as often. And you're deciding, you know what, I want better. I want somebody who isn't going to disappear on me all the time. So these feelings are coming up and you decide to let that person go because you want better. Thank you so much for listening, Gemini, and I hope to see you guys next week. Cancer. This week you might find yourself standing up for yourself against a roommate or family member or a landlord, something about a living situation, something in like your personal life. I doubt it's about work. I think it's probably very personal to you. And I think you need to stand up for yourself and put yourself first. It's possible that maybe you are the instigator in the situation and someone is standing up to you. But I kind of have the feeling just because with Jupiter and Cancer in your first house, this is really about you. And when that, and there's some sort of tension happening with somebody in your closer circle, it could be an internal battle as well. Um, but we're at whatever that is, it's time for you to pick yourself over anyone else or anything that is not serving you. With Venus conjunct the South Node in your third house, we're coming back around to this. There's an important conversation that's about to happen, and I think it's possible it could be with an ex or a romantic interest, especially with Venus there. Whenever I see Venus in the third house and the South Node, I'm just like, oof, is yeah, like Venus is love and it's relationships, the third house communication, South Node is karma and the past. So it does seem like, yeah, like it's possible that an ex romantic interest is coming back now and you guys are having a very deep conversation, and maybe some deep stuff is resurfacing and you guys have to decide if it's something you can overcome or not. It's also possible that you could be returning to like a writing project or a hobby or interest that changes like your daily routine or that you used to love before and you're deciding, hey, I want to try that again. That's very possible, but I do think it's likely that this is more about a romantic thing. And I do think it's a conversation that's long overdue and both people might need to have it in order for there to in order for both of you to move on. Thank you for listening, Cancer. Leo. So, with everybody, I've been talking about how there could be like difficult conversations going on. I'm realizing with that 12, with Jupiter and Cancer in your 12th house, that could be you. It could be more of an internal battle, rather it be with somebody else. Not even an internal battle, just more of an internal like realization, like on a something that was happening subconsciously that you're kind of having an epiphany about, and you're realizing, oh, like that really hurts my feelings, or I've been avoiding how I felt about this for a long time, and that just kind of comes up. And now you're at odds with that feeling and then what to do next. If it's a personal thing, it's like, well, how do I stop doing that? If it's something that someone else is doing, you're thinking, oh, well, how do I have this conversation with that person? It's uncomfortable. It's also possible that a secret that someone is keeping could come to light, or a secret that you're keeping could come to light. Something that's hidden could become the topic of conversation. So be aware of that. With a Venus conjunct South Node and your is happening in your second house, old ways you made money before could be coming back. It'd be a good time to return to an old unfinished project that once made you money. Maybe you abandoned it and you were doing something else and now you're thinking, I want to come back to that. But going back to what I was saying earlier about, having those like epiphanies, I think this also leads into it because the South Node is about the past and then the second house is about your self-esteem and how you feel. And it's possible that there could be a really big surge of like a reminder of like your worth and reminding yourself like, oh, if this makes me feel this way, I know there was a version of me that would never allow that, and I want to be that version of me. Something could trigger, like it could be something that triggers an old self-esteem issue you have, and you're realizing like, I want to work on that, I want to be more confident, and this thing that triggers me, I want to make sure that it never does again. Thank you for listening, Leo, and I hope to see you guys in my next video next week. Virgo. Okay, so Virgo, you guys have been the star these past few weeks. We just had an eclipse in your sign. I'm sure there's been a lot of shakeups and stuff moving on in your life. I can't say it's over yet, but I don't think yeah, I was trying to say maybe it won't be like as intense, but I think whatever storyline was going on, like I had mentioned in the general messages, that whatever story was going on during the eclipse around the 21st could be resurfacing right now with Venus conjunct the South Node in your first house. It could be something like you return to an old hairstyle or aesthetic. You could be finally deciding to dye your hair color you once did before, the color that you've always wanted. Though it's not likely to be something new, just because with the South Node, it's something coming back. Though I do think this is probably going to be much deeper than just changing your hair. You could be reconsidering your approach to life. and how you want to appear to others on a deeper level. And that is a lot harder than I think people realize. Like, I think it's when people have those moments where they sit down and they're thinking, what am I doing? Maybe you had to do a big move, or you have a new job, or you're hanging out with a new friend group and you're feeling it's imposter syndrome, having that where you're really just questioning if you are doing the right thing, if you're good enough. You think you're crazy and you think, what am I doing? And that might, something might come up that makes you feel that way again. And if it does, I want you to know you can do anything you put your mind to, especially as a Virgo. You guys are the perfectionists of the zodiac. So when you put your mind to something, it's already above average. You're gonna nitpick and you are gonna look and try and find every single issue with it, whereas someone else might do the exact same thing, but because they didn't find all those little flaws in it, it just wasn't the same as your level. But the difference is, did you get in your head and decide not to do that thing? So now that person is succeeding, or they're doing whatever and they're happy with that because they just went ahead and did it. But are you getting in a place where you're thinking, oh, it's not good enough, it's not good enough, to the point where you never do it? I just don't want you guys to second guess yourselves into not living the life that you want to live. Anyways, thank you, Virgo. I went on a little tangent there. I hope to see you guys in next week's video. Bye. Hello, Libra. So I'm thinking with Mercury square Jupiter and Cancer in your 10th house, there could be some tensions and difficult conversations happening for you at work. You could be standing up for yourself at work, or possibly taking some sort of risk, like asking for a raise or promotion, or something that you need for that, something you like an accessibility need that they don't have, and that you need to stand up for and ask for it. Whatever it is, I think it's a difficult conversation, but it almost seems like it needs to happen in order for you to feel good. It could be like you're fighting someone who has way more power than you as well, or you need to talk to someone who has way more leeway or way more say in what happens, and that feels uncomfortable. So the power dynamic is off, and that's why the conversation is feeling a little strained. But the conversation must be had, and whatever it is, it's because it's very important to you, and and it affects you. And I say you have to go for it in that case. With Venus conjunct the South Node that's happening in your 12th house, it could be the ending of a relationship, just with Venus being about romantic partners and the 12th house about endings. It could be a subconscious habit that you realize that you have, or like a method or way of thinking that you have that resurfaces and that you want to let go of. You don't like when you talk down about yourself. You don't like when you say that you're not good enough, or you didn't look good in those when you didn't look good in that dress the other day, or that person looked at you weird, so you must be weird. The thoughts like that, you're choosing to let them go around this time. Is there, or maybe they're confronting you. Maybe you're having a rough time and they're like back to back to back and you're having a rough day. I think the Venus conjunct the South Node is a great time to face those emotions and those feelings and those thoughts, and then let them go because they're not your reality. You decide your reality. You decide if you feel confident in that dress, you wear that dress. Do you have a little bit of back fat when you wear it? Okay, you're human. You can still be beautiful with back fat. Like, I don't, no one, there's no rule book to any of this. We're all just here living life. You decide the reality, and what everyone else, whether people agree with you or not, that's up to them. But if you spend way too much time worrying about that, it's all you'll think about, and you won't be able to enjoy the things you genuinely want to enjoy. You'll just be a clone of everybody else trying to fit in. And Libra, that's never been you. Thank you so much for listening, Libra, and I hope to see you in next week's video. Scorpio, you might have a change in your belief system this week, or a core belief that you're deciding to let go because a new one was communicated to you or expressed to you by like a higher power, or a teacher, or a mentor, or a spiritualist, or something like that. You might resist this, or you might even have like a heated debate about it with someone, maybe the person who brought it up, and they refuse to hear your point, or vice versa. I would just say try to be open-minded and maybe remind others to do the same. We're all students of life, but it does seem like you could have like a really interesting change in perspective based off of a conversation you have with someone, and it might be a hard pill to swallow. With Venus conjunct the South Node happening in your 11th house, old friends could be coming back into your life, whether that's online or in person. You could be rejoining an old community you were part of or hearing back from a past love interest through a friend somehow. Or you decide to go to an event that you used to go to and you run into someone from your past. I think this is a very social energy. Like whatever is coming back feels very social. It could be romance, it could be friendships, it could be something in your community. Something along those lines could be coming back. But with the South Node, like I mentioned in the general messages, it could be something that's coming back that's meant to be let go because it's possibly not for your better good, or you're meant to learn something from it but not be in that process anymore. Sometimes you have a friend that you just don't have, you kind of grow out of that friendship. It could be something about, oh, I think I'm remembering why I don't really talk to you as much anymore, and I think I want to let this friendship go. As hard as that may be, or as mean as that sounds, sometimes you outgrow people, and it simply is just time to go so you guys can both elevate and be on the path that you're meant to be on. I think when you hold on to anything for too long, it starts to hold you back from what you really deserve. Thank you so much for listening, Scorpio, and I hope to see you guys in my next video next week. Sagittarius. Hello, Sagittarius. This week, you could have difficult conversations with a friend or friend group about something that has been really hurting your feelings. They could be doing something that's triggering an old wound for you, and the conversation doesn't go too smoothly. Something along those lines, whatever it is, I think it's very deep and intimate for you. And you have to talk about it with this person. I don't keep it in. I think it'll probably eat you alive at this point. And that's probably what happens is you kept it in for too long and now suddenly it's blowing up and you're having this big raw conversation with someone. It's possible that it does go smoothly. It will, I think that there's going to be tension. But it's possible that they will be receptive after the conversation's over, but just be forewarned that that is a possibility. And if you do bring this conversation up, to maybe not be too accusatory and come at it from a place of, hey, I'm feeling this way. Can we talk about it? Because your feelings are valid. I just want to add that. How you feel is very, very valid. It's possible that person might not feel the same or might not make you feel the same. And if that's the case, I think there's only so much you can do to communicate to someone how you feel before it's time to just realize maybe they're not going to see your value or care the way you want them to. And maybe someone like that shouldn't be around you too often, or you just learn to be more cautious about what you say around that person or what you do with that person. With Venus conjunct the South Node, an old job opportunity could be coming up. It's happening in your 10th house, sorry. So yeah, the old job opportunity could be coming up. Something that you're known as could be coming back around. Like if you're known to be a mom, maybe you're gonna have another kid, or everybody knows you for your marriage and maybe you're renewing your vows, or if you're known to be the musician, maybe you're replaying at this venue that you used to play at. Something that you're known for could be coming back around. Maybe you're going to do an old job that you used to do. Maybe you're going to teach again. You could be reapplying for a job that you felt like is more in match with who you are and how you want to be seen by the world. Like there's a certain way you want to be seen and you want the world to see you. So you're deciding to move into that direction and leaving behind things that are not in line with that version of you that you aspire to be. Thank you so much for listening, Sagittarius. I hope to see you guys in my next video next week. Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn rising, by the way. But so I feel like sometimes I can resonate too much. Anyways, this isn't about me. Capricorn. This week, there could be possible conflicts with signing contracts or business deals. There could be tensions between yourself and someone that you've had or are in a one-on-one relationship with. Your public image and how you want to be perceived may not be how someone perceives you. And maybe that's something you don't accept, and that's where the conflict arises. Like you want to be seen this way, and someone is not seeing you that way, and now boom, now there's conflict. It's likely that it could be with a romantic partner for sure. Maybe you want to be treated a certain way, or maybe you want to get married and your partner does not want to get married. And now there's huge conflict here because you realize you guys do not want the same things. With Venus conjunct the South Node that's happening in the ninth house, this is really strong about like your beliefs and your belief system and what you want on a core on your on a core level. And that's being resurfaced and being re-brought up to remind you what you want and what you have to let go of to get it and what you have to let go of that doesn't match. On another note, it could also be returning somewhere you've traveled before, returning to school, higher learning, college, university. It's possible a lover makes you question a belief that you have, and there's a conversation about maybe having different beliefs or not seeing things the same way. Like I said in the general messages, whatever happened around the eclipse could be coming back around, and that storyline could be coming to an end. We still have another Virgo eclipse later on. I think we have a few more, so that the story may not be done, but those feelings are probably could possibly be resurfacing around this time. So think about what happened on the 21st and what you might have had to let go of, and that could be happening. That could be coming back around this week. Thank you, Capricorn, and I hope to see you guys in my next video next week. Aquarius. This week, someone at work or involved in your daily routine could be questioning your beliefs or how you act or something that you've chosen to do, like a decision you've made. And this could lead to a difficult conversation where you have to stand your ground against them. For some reason, it's as if you've made a decision in this environment, and someone is like, "I think that's morally wrong," or vice versa. Someone made a decision, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I think that's morally wrong. I can't stand for that." I think it's something like that could happen. It's just something that you go to every day. That's part of your daily routine, like at the gym or the coffee shop or something like that. I don't know if it's worth having the conversation, but if it's with somebody that is important to you, then by all means, but it might just leave you feeling drained and unheard. With Venus conjunct the South Node, it's happening in your eighth house. So it's very much feeling like an old traumatic or deep-rooted wound is being resurfaced, and it's just like now you have to face this feeling that's really uncomfortable and painful. It could also be the returning of an intimate relationship or even a sexual experience. It could be someone that you have a strong connection with coming back as well, someone that that you had a deep relationship with. Could be connected to, again, it could be, again, like what I said in the general messages, it could be connected to what happened on the eclipse on the 21st. If there anything intense happened around then, there could be like a resurfacing of that energy. Yeah, you may possibly have to let go of whatever is coming up because it's just really triggering the old wound for you. Thank you, Aquarius, and I hope to see you guys in my video next week. Okay, last but definitely not least, because I'm a Pisces sun and I know what it's like to be at the very end. So I will give you guys all the energy that I can. So this week, it's possible that you may be having difficult conversations with a lover about something that's deeply hurting you. They could be doing something that is triggering an old wound for you, and the conversation could get very heated. I think there will be empathy and understanding involved with Jupiter and Cancer there. I just think it's a hard conversation because when you bring up stuff that's really traumatic and really painful, there's going to be some conflict there. There's going to be some tension there. Sometimes people don't want to hear that they've hurt you that badly because they don't want to be a villain. Now they see themselves as a terrible person, or they think you see them as a terrible person, and now the wound that you want to talk about is being pushed to the side. And now there's a huge conflict because we're no longer talking about your wound and we're talking about how your wound is affecting someone else even though they caused it to you. But obviously you're already Pisces, I already know it. You're not meaning to hurt anyone. But I don't think it's like you can't control someone's reaction to you communicating your feelings. So try not to internalize how this conversation goes if it doesn't go well. Venus conjunct the South Node is happening in your seventh house. That is also very relationship based. I would say yes, I had mentioned to Taurus that if anyone is going to expect exes coming back, and I hate to say this because I hate when spiritualists and astrologers come on here and always talk about an ex coming back just to get clicks, and they're preying on people who really want to hear that. I promise you I don't say this unless I think it's true. But for you and Taurus, you're just having it in romantic signs, and with Venus in the seventh house, Venus is about relationships, seventh house is also about relationships and one-on-one partnerships and committed relationships. And the South Node is about things coming back around. It's like, oh, well, that seems really in your face. So it is possible that an ex could be coming back. The seventh house is also about partnerships and one-on-one dynamics that aren't romantic, such as like business deals and contracts. So something like that could be coming back around, like an old contract that maybe you didn't sign before and decided, oh yeah, like I think I do want the house, or something like that could be coming back as well. But I do think it's likely going to be romantic just with the context of Jupiter and Cancer in the fifth house, with Mercury squaring it. It does seem like with these two aspects combined, it is romantic. Just know that with the South Node, whatever comes back or whoever comes back, like, it may just be like another lesson. I can't say it. I can't say to you that I think this time it's going to be good. I think it's something maybe that's coming up because you're supposed to learn from it and let it go. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, Pisces, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. If you've made it to the very end, thank you so much for listening. This was my first YouTube video. If it's helped you, I hope it has. And maybe leave a comment and like if you want, subscribe if you want. And definitely come back and let me know if things really do go the way that I said they do, because I'm always interested to see. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.